Hi, I'm Wendy, and the other day I talked to you about the importance of being able to read between the lines. And I said I would come back tomorrow with some tips on how you can do that effectively. So the first thing I want you to think about is the context. The context matters. So consider the context in which the communication is taking place. There could be cultural, emotional, or situational factors that are at play, and they can greatly impact on the hidden meanings. The second thing is to listen actively. Now, we've talked about this before. Listening actively, listening attentively is absolutely critical to effective communication. So listen to the tone of the voice, listen to any changes in pitch, in rhythm, in volume, because these are little vocal cues that you need to tune into because they can carry additional and quite weighted information. On the subject of non-verbal or body language, tune in and observe the non-verbal and the body language that's going on. Your body language, your gestures, facial expressions, they can all provide some very telling, some very important insights into what the person is trying to convey. Even though they may not be speaking the words, they are saying a lot with their body language. Consider the emotional tone of the dialogue. So reflect on the emotions that are being conveyed here. You know, are there little hints of frustration or excitement even? Can you detect any concern in the person's demeanour or in their emotional tone? Any sadness even or anger perhaps that might not be explicitly stated. So try to be very observant with your ears and your eyes. Identify patterns. Now, you may notice over a period of time that there are some patterns that could be giving you some clues and some cues to how somebody communicates, and this will help you anticipate any unspoken thoughts and feelings. Try to ask open-ended questions. You know, those are those questions that usually start with why or how, sometimes with what. They're not the questions that start with a do you or can you, because those types of questions invite a very closed response, like a yes or no response. So you don't want to stifle and shut down the conversation, particularly if you feel that you're getting somewhere. So you want to ask the other person open-ended questions and encourage them to share, to perhaps be a little bit more verbal and a little bit more explicit. Empathy, empathize, you know, tune into your emotional intelligence and try to empathize. Put yourself in the other person's shoes in order to gain a better understanding and perspective on what's happening. I think it's very important to avoid any assumptions. We can very quickly assume things which may not necessarily at all be what's happening and be correct. So while reading between the lines is important, don't make any unfounded assumptions. Don't jump the gun or jump in too quickly. If in doubt, seek some clarification to ensure that you have really accurately understood what was being conveyed. Practice active listening. I did talk about that before. Reflect and analyze as well. So, you know, you want to apply some reflection to what you're hearing, what you're interpreting, what your understanding of it is. Consider in some, you know, with some insight and some reflection into what the possible underlying messages of this could be. So look, reading between the lines, it is a skill. I think it's a very, very important skill to have if you want to communicate effectively. It is something that happens with practice, like most skills as well. It needs practice. It needs for you to have a heightened awareness as well, to apply quite a bit of emotional intelligence and to really tune in to those verbal and non-verbal cues. As you become more attuned to the cues, you will be able to decipher better some of the unspoken aspects of the communication. And I hope that will enhance your communication with the other person.